New this April from HyperX, it's the HyperX Clutch Controller. Get better control of your mobile gaming with its comfortable grip, directional pad, analog sticks, and shoulder buttons. This versatile controller can fit a variety of phone widths and can also connect wirelessly for use on tablets and PCs. Learn more and pick one up online at HyperX and HP.com, Amazon, Micro Center, Target, Best Buy, and many other fine retailers. Hey everybody, and welcome to Elden Dogs.
Hey,
Episode 2, we are back.
we are back.
Yes.
And what a first episode.
I am Brad, a.k.a. Gideon Offnear, the all-knowing.
I am Dylan the Dung Eater.
And Tyler?
Well, I'm no longer Bach.
I think Bach's cool.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe you're Blade.
I think he's cool. I'm gonna stick with Bach for one more week.
Okay.
I did just give him a larvial tear so that he could fix his face.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh no, he got me.
Okay. Well, go check on him.
Now I'm worried.
Yep, go check on Bach.
It was an option, and I'm going a full Jim Carrey run right here on this playthrough where I'm just the yes man. Like, if it says give or can I have? Yeah,
Really?
For
Okay.
sure. Yep, you got it.
Someone, I was reading the other day on Reddit, they're like, I am playing as someone who doesn't interact with any NPCs because if you try and help people, it always ends poorly for them.
That's not bad. It's not awful. Yeah.
And almost every NPC you try to assist, it goes bad. But this episode is being released on 420. So if you are partaking, go for it. I don't smoke anymore, but happy 420 to those that it's a holiday to some people. It's Easter for us right now, and we're celebrating with pizza rolls and beer.
Oh, yeah, you know, I will be. Yeah. I mean, listen, what better way to celebrate the resurrection of Christ than through Totino's?
The Easter package, it comes with a chocolate bar and a 6-pack of PBR.
I will definitely be going, Christ has come, Christ has risen.
You're doing the body and the blood in one fell swoop there.
Honestly, yeah.
My mouth will be bleeding from eating hot pizza rolls too.
Too hot.
I'm so stoned. Hair of the Dogcast is a proud member of the HyperX Podcast Network. For more information, check out podcast.hyperx.com. We tried to discuss just the gameplay aspects last episode, and it took the whole episode, and we didn't get through everything. So just wanted to mention a few things before we move on to more stuff. Talismans are cool. Quick items up to 10. You have a pouch, use it. Gestures, I hate, but they have some purpose for some quests.
Sometimes.
Mostly, though, I turned them off because I accidentally was gesturing at everybody when I was trying to fight. My guy just all of a sudden does like the YMCA while he's getting killed.
The praise the sun, which...
Beautiful. See, this is a Dark Souls thing that you and I don't get yet.
No, not yet.
But Solaire is the king of the Souls. Well, not the king, but one of the most well-known figures of the Souls.
Yeah, he's your best friend in that game.
Is he kind of like Goldmask?
No.
All I know is that Goldmask does a similar pose, so I thought maybe they're related.
Doing one of these.
Yeah.
Solaire is just oh man, even making references to other Souls games you've never played is not going to help you.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, gestures, flasks of crimson tears and cerulean tears. You can heal yourself or restore some of your FP, and go to the sites of grace. Get
points.
Get as many of those as you can, and then allocate accordingly. We don't need to go over inventory, but the sites of grace are an important thing, that they're scattered throughout the land, fast travel points, and you can do many things there. And this is a very nice addition to Elden Ring, because before you'd have to transport somewhere else. I know, at least in Bloodborne, you always have to go back there to the Hunter's Dream.
Yeah, and then in order to warp where you needed to go.
And also just level up to do anything, really.
Yeah, that also, I mean, streamlining it is the best choice. I think with those other games, just the sheer size of this, they could not get away with that. Because I see this as like an open world game in its truest form, whereas the other ones are kind of set pieces in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Everything's a little bit more deliberate. There are little like nooks and crannies that are more thought out, and
Yeah.
it's maybe more or less like everything is like brimming with lore. Whereas this, sometimes you get a little break from that.
Dude, I'm trying to like follow a rabbit hole, and I'm like, all right, I need to figure out what happened with this specific lore thing, and then, oh no, what's a godskin? And then you're 60 minutes down that, and you're like, oh fuck, what's a Glomite Queen again? And the lore just, once you keep going, it's staggering how much there is and how much you realize you don't know. But I feel like I have a tenuous grasp on a lot of the concepts now.
Well, that's going to be the adventure of this entire series. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be us being like, but I thought like it's all going to be G's and M's and R's.
Well, and I mean, this is something that Soulsborne games, as well as George R. R. Martin, like to do. They will write of past events or like powerful gods that we don't know specifically what happened, and it's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to read the Knight of Black Knives, and it's deliberate. You're not supposed to know specifically what happened, but you're supposed to think, was someone involved? Did this happen? Why did this happen?
History is tenuous. I think that's what's interesting about these series in general. It's like it's subtext. When is the last time you played a video game with subtext? Just even think of one.
Kentucky Route Zero?
Yes. Okay. Well, that's a video game in name only. We've talked about that. It is a video game.
I was drunk last night, and without thinking about it, I said Kentucky Route Zero is one of the best video games ever made. And I was like, I think I agree with myself, but I didn't know I was going to say that.
Did you not cry at the end of Kentucky Route Zero?
I wept.
I wept. Certainly.
I haven't played it.
You should try it. Actually, the
It's-
the Switch version is probably my definitive. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
My brother has a Switch. I could easily do that.
Yeah.
But you can also memorize spells, mix your Wondrous Physic mix there. Lots of stuff. Essentially, Sites of Grace, our little mobile home base, which is very cool.
Yeah. It's perfect.
There's a lot of exploration stuff. Torrent's awesome. Vanquishing groups, Grant Flasks, Illusory Walls, Teardrop Scarabs. Essentially,
Which I never take advantage of.
the Teardrop Scarabs.
I take advantage of the ones that give you the ashes for sure every time. But if I see
the
the red
FB?
or the blue one,
Oh.
I just keep
They give you
rolling.
ashes. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The
there's
the white ones give you Ashes of War.
and there's gold ones that
never-
give you incantations.
No shit.
Yep, I found one of them the other day. I was like, "You're first of your kind."
I should just be attacking everything and talking to everything. And
Except
I'm such a
Turtle Popes.
dum-dum.
Never attack Turtle Popes. I accidentally hit him the other day because I was trying to see if I could jump on his shell, and it counted as damage. And he's
Was he
like,
okay?
He's like, "What are you doing?" We need to do an introduction to the lore,
Oh boy.
and
I'm not looking.
this is going to be deliberately vague. As it's
fine.
It's just concepts you should understand when you start the game, but it's not going to have the revelations where you learn how certain things work. So,
I feel like I'm going to have some revelations.
yeah.
I'm start putting things together.
So we're just going to start right at the top with the Outer Gods.
Yes.
Yes, the Outer Gods are celestial entities comparable to deities, to gods. Think old ones, think big, scary unknowables, think strange powers,
Untouchable. You won't ever interact with them.
unfathomable.
Yep.
Well, some people interact with them a little bit.
Yeah, but you don't get to really.
I'll say one Lord of Blood definitely interacts with one in a weird way. But
Fuck, man. I'm still not even done with the game, and I'm making like multiple characters. I'm so gross right now.
we'll say, though, that there are numerous Outer Gods, but for the start of the game, we only are going to talk about one, and it's the Greater Will. The Greater Will is the Outer God with the most influence in the lands between and the creator of the Elden Ring. So the Greater Will is essentially, if you want to put it to Christianity terms, it's like God. It's someone that, something, it's even trying to explain it is
might
tricky.
be the Holy Spirit.
Well, it's something from outer space, from a realm beyond. It's from another dimension. Regardless, it's not from there. and it is exerting its will over the lands between.
Can I ask a question? Are we on a planet?
You are on a planet, yes. The lands between, I wasn't
That's
sure.
been confirmed?
I wasn't sure when I started. Is this like a spirit realm? Is this afterlife?
Yeah, because calling it something like that is a little,
Well, the only instance I can think of where it's like, yeah, you're on a planet is when you flip the tower and it's got the little gyrosphere.
Sure.
And it looks like there's a planet in there, but it could just be cool decorations. Who knows?
I mean, the sorcerers are the most intelligent characters in the game, so.
You are on a planet. Stars are out there, like outer space exists, and there is a deep living history to this world. And okay, so how do you keep coming back? As a tarnished, oh God, you are one of the descendants, not descendants, but the first tarnish was Godfrey, yeah. Godfrey. And he was banished at one point, and he took his tarnish with him. So you're either descended from him or you're part of his clan. But when the Elden Ring, the rune of death was removed from it by Marika, and then it inverted the way death worked. So that allowed demigods to be able to die, and regular people, like the regular species, the demi-humans, the misbegotten to regular humans, they no longer can die. That's why if you kill things and you come back, they're still there because their spirit can't return to the Erd tree.
Right. Yep. It reminds me. It does remind me of Dark Souls a little bit. Not to harp on it too much. You hollow in that game, and the hollowing is essentially just that you're undead and you keep coming back. And back when this game came out, they're like, it's. You know the argument where people have like, oh, it's too difficult or whatever. But like we had this. Didn't we talk last time about how it completely ruins like the artistic?
Yeah,
like,
if it was
integrity.
If it was purposely easy,
Right.
it would take away.
So there is I think I've read a few interviews with Miyazaki that say he's like, oh, if you give up, you fully hollowed and you're like one of the zombies in the game.
Yeah,
like
ludonarrative.
It's ludonarrative. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely kind of like metatextual in that way.
To go ludonarrative, I put on Undertale for the first time in like over a year, and I was greeted by the end boss like, you already did everything, Brad. Why are you here? And I was like, fuck, man, leave me alone. It was really cool. He's like, you can undo this. You can make everyone suffer again if you want, Brad. And they actually said Brad. It was really weird. But I like that shit. And so yes, the greater will has the most influence. And that's why you also, when you kill a demigod or like a boss, they can die permanently.
And they do.
And they don't return. Whereas most things do. And then there are other enemies which are living outside of the grace, and you kill them and they can't die. So when you come back to them later, they'll have the same wounds that you gave them before, and they're just doomed to keep like kind of half dying, and their bodies don't repair, which is unfortunate for them.
Well,
there is a lot of kinds of death in this game. We'll talk about a lot of it later. But
boy, I'm gonna have to do way more research.
The lands between. One giant continent surrounded by water. There are other continents outside of the lands between. That's where the Tarnished were banished to, at least some of them. There's the Land of Reeds, which is where the samurai-looking motherfuckers are from. And there are... And some people I've heard theorize that the lands between... They call it between because there were ancient cities underground as well as a city in the sky. And this was between the two.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's a little intriguing.
That could be there.
Could that be DLC?
Just finish the game.
Well,
I think I have theories on the DLC.
Okay. Okay. I've been so slow to go. Yeah.
You're enjoying it, and there's no need to rush.
No, and frankly, I'm not going to, because I absorb these games really quickly. Like Sekiro, even though I never beat it, like I got to that last boss and I was just like, I get the idea. Or like Dark Souls, I ate that up within a week.
Yeah.
And I was done. Like I was like, num, 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 num. Good meal.
Yeah. I kind of imbibed so much Elden Ring really fast. I got drunk on it. And then I like sobered up the next week. I was like, oh my God, did I really go?
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Yeah, you went hard.
Yeah, I went very hard. But I also knew I was starting a new job and I had to play as much as I could.
It's true.
The lands between are blessed with the power of the greater will thanks to the Elden Ring. The lands between is 6 vast areas, each ruled by a demigod figure, and the names were all created by GRRM.
Wow, does that play in?
So the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring is on the box.
Explain to us what an Elden Ring is, Brad.
It's not a hot piece of jewelry, but
if you like it, you got to put a
ring on it.
Elden Ring on it. Is there a meme out there about that already?
This sounds like a horrible parody song that probably will exist if it doesn't yet.
DLC featuring
We'll record
Beyonce.
it. We'll record it later.
She's a demigod for sure.
Copyright. It's mine.
Not an actual ring as in jewelry, but an immensely powerful object, integral to the existence of the lands between and the source of the Erd Tree's strength.
I mean, it's just a giant rune, right?
It's made up of many great runes that have the power to influence many aspects of reality within the lands between. Think of it as the laws of physics and reality.
Yeah.
The different runes all kind of govern a certain way the world works, and that's why when Marika removed the rune of death, which is explained in the opening, that shit gets wild.
It kind of ruins everything. It's like apocalyptic.
The Erd Tree. It's the physical symbol of the greater will, an enormous, luminous tree at the center of the lands between. It siphons energy off the dead, allows demigods to live forever until the rune of destined death is stolen or removed. But, yep, the Erd Tree is how people pass on. It's it kind of just governs. It kind of helps.
It's the Bifrost.
It spreads its will. It's
It's the literal representation of the gateway. It's like, oh yeah, when you see the light, it might as well just be the tree.
And then you hear the Golden Order mentioned a lot. The Golden Order is a set of concepts made by Marika and her consort, the Eldon Lord. A list of rules guiding you to understanding the greater will. It's essentially, Moses got the 10 Commandments from God, and it's like, this is how this works. And yes.
Well, that makes sense. That's the impression I get from it. But also, like, what's up with, like, well, we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
But you notice there are a lot of, like, sects of the Golden Order.
And there are some people that are like, fuck the Golden Order. And
There's some who are like, we love fire. And then other ones are like, we like being silly and plaguey.
Well, and I mean, it's much like the real world where there's so many people that can they have the commandments. So they have like
Lutheran,
a Bible,
Catholic, yeah.
And they're like, we don't like the New Testament, but we really like the original Golden Order. That shit was lit. And that's the Golden Order, and it was concepts that were made by Marika to help people understand the greater will. Who is Marika? Marika.
She's kind of the mother goddess figure.
Marika is the ruler of the lands between, who was chosen by the greater will. Jesus lady. She was chosen by the greater will to be the leader of its presence in the lands between. Mm-hmm. And she achieved godhood as the vessel for the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring exists within her and a part of her, like outside of her as well. But she is like,
so the Elden Ring is the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, it's trying to, I think, limit the Elden Ring to one thing is tricky.
No, I think it's vague enough that it doesn't have to be. But I'm trying to come up with parallels for listeners, maybe
make them understand it a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marika was the first chosen one. She was chosen to be in charge as the God Queen, the Eternal Queen. Well, she got the name the Eternal Queen when she removed the rune of destined death, giving people eternal life. And so that's why they call her the Eternal Queen. But Godfrey was her first consort, thus making him the Eldon Lord, because an Eldon Lord is essentially the consort of the Queen. It is the right hand of the Queen.
Okay, so you may have just spoiled something for me, but is your major goal to marry someone within this game?
There needs to be an Eldon Lord. I mean, the main goal of the game is to bring the great runes together. That's right. They explain that kind of at the beginning where...
No, they do.
Go get the great runes and bring the Elden Ring back together, reforge it, because Marika shatters that shit at some point for some reason. And
Oh, I wonder why. Maybe
and then
it's secretly
and all the shards of the Elden Ring get scattered, and your goal is you need to get to the Erd Tree, figure out what happened to America, reforge the Elden Ring.
That kind of recontextualizes the entire journey too. I'm thinking about it now, like even watching that opening cutscene, which is just a series of pictures. Why couldn't they pay a CGI artist?
Dude, I prefer the pictures.
I don't like the pictures.
Dude, it's beautiful, stunning art. You do not like that art?
It's good art. But that's not the problem. It actually was. It was kind of like it's too understated for its own good. Like you've seen the opening to Dark Souls, right? I hate to keep bringing this out.
Yeah.
But that is the way to open up a video game where you're like, yeah, that's a fantasy video game.
I think it's important, though. I like the images because it's history and it's trying to understand pictures in a book, you know?
But like, I actually thought that the game was going to be bad based off of that. And
I'm happy you're wrong.
I'm
happy
so
you were
happy
wrong, yeah.
I'm happy I'm wrong, too. Let's be clear. I don't want video games to be bad. If I'm hoping for things to be bad, I got to go see a therapist or something because, like, that's not a good thing to think about anything.
Well, I do hope that, like, pay-to-win games are bad. I'm like, I hope you fail. And then they do, and I get very excited.
Which games?
Pay-to-win, microtransactions.
Fuck them to death.
I have been hoping Madden fails for like 15 years now. So they actually make
that is a too
Madden.
big to fail scenario.
And it's too big. It's a too big to fail. Like 2K,
well as FIFA.
all that shit. Well, what's funny about it is like someone actually made a mock-up of a pull in an Elden Ring game, like this set of armor and weapons and this, and he's like, and it literally said it was on Reddit, and it was like, guys, how do you think about my pull from Elden Ring today? And it's funny because it just doesn't exist. It's like the game is the game.
Yeah.
And here you go. They need to make more games like this.
Well, it's not. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Well, it's not easy.
It's having standards,
so this
which
game,
I don't think a lot of games have.
Yeah.
This game has been in development from 2017 by all accounts, right?
I think maybe earlier even.
So Miyazaki has been directing like 5 games at a time and juggling it. I promise you there's a Bloodborne 2 on its way.
We'll see.
I promise.
I think it's fine the way it is. I don't think there's a need to.
I don't think there's a need, but I think Sony's ready to give out the money now because Xbox acquired a lot of studios.
Allegedly, Sony has acquired a very big studio, and they haven't announced who it is yet.
No shit. What do you think it is?
The only thing that we know it isn't is Kojima Productions, which they've came out and said is no, that's not us.
Kojima doesn't want to be tied to anyone anymore.
Yeah.
But people are saying it's massive, whatever it is. We don't know yet. Maybe it's out by this release.
EA.
I don't know. I mean,
It's
I don't think EA would do that.
I think EA might.
No, EA needs to be multi-platform.
Yeah.
They make too much money. But I guess
I think
Xbox also owns Bethesda, and they're like, we're going to still release things elsewhere.
It depends, though. I think they're going to release Elder Scrolls 6 on their console for like 6 months, and then they'll be like, now you can have it.
So, Eldon Lords are the Queen's consort, and they are in charge of upholding the Golden Order. She is like, you're my husband as long as you do a good job. Go protect the Golden Order out there.
That's kind of how, well, yeah, that's how consorts usually work.
There is a big family tree to this world, and I'm going to be appropriately vague about this, but they're just, suffice it to say, America and Godfrey had 3 children, and then Radagon of the Golden Order and America had 2 children.
Okay.
And then Radagon and Renala also had 3 children. So
Our big boy got it on.
well, Radagon, yes, he went to the Academy of Raya Lucaria. He went to go wage war because his first job was to unite the lands between, because the giants had their own god. They're up there doing their own thing.
They did.
The Academy of Raya Lucaria were all about moon magic, and we don't want no part of your Christianity. We're good over here doing witchcraft. We're cool.
The moon magic that you have to have 60 intelligence for? Fuck that.
Yeah, he's smart, man.
I mean, like...
There's a reason rednecks don't use glintstones.
Yeah, no nerds allowed. Or wait,
Clearly.
other way around.
Nerds only. But yeah, Radagon went there to go wage war, and he met Renala, and he fell in love, or fell in lust at least, and they had children together.
Yeah, but his true love is his horse.
You're thinking of Radon.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
How could this happen with names that are so different, Dylan?
Yeah. How could it work?
They explain in the beginning the shattering. The Elden Ring was shattered. And then they...
Shattered by whom?
Well, America did it. America shattered it. They show that in the beginning. And also...
That's not the picture that they show.
Well, be careful. They show 2 pictures of the same event. And just pay attention to that.
I have to rewatch this. I haven't watched the opening in like 87 hours.
A couple days, huh?
It's been a minute.
Only a couple days. I can't remember shit.
The opening also mentions the Knight of Black Knives.
Yes.
And the Rune of Death. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. The Rune of Death, though, was taken out of the Elden Ring by America. We know this. And it was stolen by a group of female assassins. And they used it to imbue their weapons with the power of death. So that is able to kill a god. Because they have the power of the Rune of Death there. And so able to kill a god. Godwyn the Golden was killed. One of America and Godfrey's children. Mm-hmm. And when the Elden Ring was shattered, Queen America went missing. We don't know where she is. Or if she's still around. The children of America then very quickly just started fucking each other over and fighting each other because they all wanted whatever power they could grab.
Yeah.
They kind of spread out to the 6 different parts of the lands between, each with their own great rune. And they would love to have all of them, but they're so afraid of losing the one they have that a lot of them don't go outside of their land. So that's why you have very specific factions, like Liurnia Lakes versus Limgrave versus Caelid. They're their own little pockets of...
They don't fuck with each other.
They don't really fuck with each other, which is why it's really exciting when you find something that doesn't belong somewhere, because it means something's going on.
There are some enemies that kind of traverse like the boundaries, and then you can find them like fighting each other. I think that's actually the most interesting part, maybe, is that they tried to make an open living and breathing world where like you'll find like ghosts fighting like wildmen, and you're just like, oh well, fuck, this is kind of cool.
One of the first bosses you run to is a Beastman of Fair Missoula, and just that concept blows my mind.
Yeah,
what are you doing there? How'd you get down there? What's a Fair Missoula?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Yeah, and then the children of America, they go to war against each other. The children, Ronnie, Godric. Well, Godric's not a child directly, but a descendant. Millennia, Praetor Rickard, Radon, the Tarnished, then are being called back by the grace of the Erd Tree. The Tarnished were previously banished. At some point, Godry was sent away. Godfrey? Fuck, I'm doing it now.
Dude, it's tough.
Godfrey was sent away.
Atrocious. This is literally like reading the Silmarillion. It is kind of obnoxious.
Well, Godfrey was sent away with his Tarnished, and they are being called back by the guidance of grace from the Erd Tree. We don't know what is necessarily doing it, but it's
the impetus of your character. It's the hero's journey that's bringing them back.
You're told, here you are.
Yeah.
Go reclaim the Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Become Eldon Lord. The Tarnished are individuals who no longer have the life force of the Erd Tree flowing through them. These individuals were exiled, but they fell from grace. They are beckoned by lost grace to return to the lands between. They mention a handful of Tarnished in the opening. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands. The ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fia, the deathbed companion. Fucks dead people. Followed up by the loathsome Dung Eater. Somehow they had to follow...
Rigor mortis. Yeah.
Yeah. I've recently learned a lot about Fia, and it's very exciting. Sir Gideon off near the all-knowing, real pretentious cunt. Love him, though, but he's always just kind of looking down on you.
It's true.
And then there was one other one, Sir Bradley of the Golden, or something. I forget his name.
Why didn't you say that earlier?
What do you mean?
You didn't introduce yourself as that.
Oh, I didn't. But there's the other Tarnished I mentioned in the opening is one of no renown, no one special, but a Tarnished that is coming back regardless. That is our character. And I do love the cinematic. We've kind of gone over a lot of that. Do you have any questions on any of those terms, or like broad concepts at all?
So the Sites of Grace they have the little gold things coming off of them that are supposed to guide you to points of interest.
Correct.
Now, I've heard talk that some of the Tarnished they have the light in their eyes, or they can still see these projections.
You lose
but
it
not
after a while.
all of them. Yeah, so not all of them can, because that's something that I thought was going to be really important at the beginning of the game, and it was kind of only hit on a couple times, and I haven't heard jack for a while.
You'll hear it from characters.
I think it's literally like a loss of I think it's like text. It's like a loss of hope. It's like a loss of I'm kind of doing my own thing now.
That makes sense.
And I became too much of an individual. I'm not focused on this task. And I think that's kind of like the point. It's maybe asking the player, what are you actually doing and how are you actually doing it? It'll be like, well, do you just want to fuck around or do you want to see what's out there, you know?
Yeah, some characters lose it. I don't know if it's because they've lost their faith, or maybe the guidance of the Erd Tree has lost faith in them to do their mission.
Yeah,
I do think it's interesting though that all the Tarnished are essentially, you're supposed to go be the Eldon Lord. Like that's what everyone's kind of doing, but everyone works together. Well, that's a big fucking no.
Sometimes.
They don't all work together. But
sometimes
a lot of Tarnished do help each other out. Some are bloody fingers that just try and kill each other. Yeah, there's a lot of different factions of Tarnished, but
Okay, yeah, no, that's what I was wondering.
That's actually a good question though, because they do kind of bring that up a lot. Like, oh, I'm a failure. Like, it doesn't work for me anymore.
Yeah, and this being my first Souls game, when I heard that at the beginning of the game, that was my only indication of where to go at the beginning and what to do. So I was like, whoa. Can I lose this? This game's supposed to be real hard, right? What if I can't see what the fuck I'm supposed to do moving forward? And this is supposed to be a big ass map. So I was nervous at the beginning. I don't want to lose the light.
Well, the truth is that you wouldn't anyway. But even in other games, those are so much more curated. You are like I was saying, it's the difference between an open world and a set piece game. The other versions of these Souls games are all set pieces, essentially, with little bits and bobbles, and everything is kind of placed meticulously. This has a bunch of that, but not nearly to the degree. So I think they're actually trying to encourage you, maybe.
It's nice for newer players that might need to be pushed to certain areas too.
Yeah.
I think part of the game is you're supposed to go explore, but when you're ready to go towards certain things. But I actually never really used the Guidance of Grace.
I never did. I just kind of instinctively.
One of the first characters says, "Go there," and I said no, and I went.
I said, I like this little door that I opened. And then you go in there, you face a demon cat.
This guy on a horse looks friendly. Let me go say hi to him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's very shiny.
So after you see this opening cinematic, you arrive at the Chapel of Anticipation.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Why we arrive at the Chapel of Anticipation, we don't know a lot about it.
You can technically beat this boss, and I've seen what happens.
Well, but the chapel, it's potentially where your character might have been laid to rest before. I think it's kind of where a lot of the Tarnished come through. They arrive in the chapel.
Yeah. It's close to the Erd Tree.
Not really. The chapel isn't close to the Erd Tree.
Wait a minute. Where is it located?
The chapel is
west coast.
It's west of Stormvale.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just kind of associated with Stormvale Castle.
Oh my God. That's the island. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
We're good.
But the Chapel of Anticipation, you emerge there, you open the door of the chapel, and it's fucking wicked. You view the Erd Tree and the entire world in the distance, and it is a stunning, stunning opening to the game. And you just walk along, and you're all happy, this is going to be great. And then this fucking monster with 19 arms lands in front of you, and you have your first boss fight with the Grafted Scion.
Grafted Scion. So Godric sent out an emissary, his own little beast, to fuck you up to make sure that you don't even start your journey.
Yep.
Yeah, Godric is essentially trying to prevent any Tarnished from getting to him. It's part of Limgrave, the main area we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
That's kind of where all the Tarnished start, and that's why the Grafted Scion's there. And then you also run into the Crucible, the Tree Sentinel. You run into the Tree Sentinel. He is essentially.
I avoided him like crazy. My first playthrough, even I was like, I'm not fucking with this.
Goodbye. I don't want no part of you.
No,
But
and then
yeah,
I went back and killed him at level 30. I'm like, ooh, that felt good.
and I'm very excited to talk about Godric when we get to him. But for now, the Grafted Scion, grafting, refers to a procedure to move tissue from one side of another to another. If there's a great video where they slow down and you get a really good look at the Grafted Scion. A scion is like a royal person, a child, and they're descendant of an
emissary.
They're a descendant of a noble family, and they have arms and like legs all grafted to it, so it kind of moves like a spider. But this is in reference to how our first Eldon Lord did the art of grafting a little bit. You see pictures of him with like a lion, and I think people really got the wrong idea. I want 10 arms.
It'd be nice, 2 faces.
Yeah. I want another face.
But I want it on my neck.
What's better than 1? 10?
Yes, you can defeat the Grafted Scion, but even if you're taking too long and don't die, it just stops. You only have like 30 seconds to do it, but you can beat the Grafted Scion. If you do, you'll walk outside the other door and then it just drops. You're going to, like, the ground just falls away.
It's one of those. You're meant to lose. It's like when you awaken Bloodborne and you go downstairs and the wolf fucks you up.
Yeah.
I've beaten the wolf with my fists.
I've gotten
I've done it. Like it's
not even that tough. But
No.
if you're supposed to, though, you're supposed to kind of be
supposed to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And either way, defeated or not, you awaken in a ravine. There's a horse and a woman there. And
she talks like this, like everyone in the Souls series.
She's got a lazy eye.
one of them will become the Eldon Lord.
She's got a bad Mike Tyson tattoo.
You have ruined Melina for me.
She's cute, though.
She's all right. And Torrent's a very good boy.
Torrent rules.
So one of the first things you see when you awaken in the ravine is an illusory tree, the little gold trees. Mm-hmm. You get a golden seed there. When the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds, the Erd tree kind of did a panic thing and just shot seeds out to like kind of protect itself.
Much like an actual tree.
Yeah, much like another plant would do. So if you see these little golden trees, pick them up. Those golden seeds are going to get you more flasks. Very useful.
Oh my God, it is the best way to upgrade the healing system. Upgrading through pure exploration and then find. I could dive into that.
There's a finite number of seeds in the game, correct?
Yeah, but there's also more than you need to get your flasks max level.
It is. How many? Do you know how many you can get?
I don't know offhand, but there are more. You can get a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but you can get more than you need to max out your flasks.
My guy has like 15 charges.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get much more than that.
I don't know.
I got to be getting close to max then.
Well, because as it goes on, you need to have more seeds to gain more charges. So it could be, I don't know, like maybe it's like 16 or 17, 18.
Yeah,
I know there are still some places.
I'd say not more than 20, but grab your golden seed. There is a tutorial area, which is optional. Definitely, I think,
Just do it.
Play through it at least the first time because it teaches you a lot of important concepts
play through
about
it the
combat.
second time too. I mean, like just play through it anytime because it literally just kind of gives you like the brush up.
Yeah, it's a nice area. It also kind of teaches you there will be jumping down holes. There will be fall damage. There will be a lot of exploration. I guess in the original version of the game, they didn't have the ghost there saying jump down. So a lot of people didn't think they should jump down, but they added that ghost that says take the plunge.
Yeah.
Fuck.
There's also inside of this this area you spawn a spot you can use a swordstone key, which are very useful. Swordstone keys, always buy them when you can because you're going to run into somewhere where you want them.
You find them in abundance at a certain point.
Yeah, but there is the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave here. I didn't do this until after I finished the game. I just kind of went back and I said, what the fuck? There's a whole Hero's Grave right where you spawn if you have a swordstone key.
Use them every chance you get because you're going to get a decent item every time you do. It's kind of an unlock for the items itself. It's like, you know how like other games, they make you like roll for it or like the loot boxes. Like this one is just like, well, technically we put it in the game already. So just roll with it.
And it'll be useful every time. There's never going to be an
useful,
instance where you use a stone sword key and it's not important. You will always get some sort of cool item.
Or runes.
Or boss.
Yeah. Sometimes I got like a 20 rune on one of those. I'm like, holy shit, that's like 20,000 fucking runes.
And the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave is probably much too difficult for people at the beginning. But
these are the ones with the rolly guys.
Those fucking chariots.
I hate the rolly guys.
One of the only enemy designs I just despise.
Yeah, because they can hit you through walls. They could like
Yes.
Their hitboxes are wonky.
Their hitboxes are wonky, but then you have to like a Legend of Zelda type. It's a puzzle technically. It's a dumbass puzzle, but it's a puzzle. I know, and so you have to run, and then you have to go into a nook, wait for them to go, and then you have to time it out so that you can get back up to the next thing.
And I found one where like when you get past the one chariot thing, another one comes from the other way, and you're on this little tiny bridge, and I'm standing directly in the middle, and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Oh, no,
I'm good. And then I notice I'm standing on a blood stain, so I'm like, I'm probably not good.
Yeah.
And
I love that aspect where you just see other people violently die sometimes. They're bloodstains. This is a bad spot to be.
Yep, and then I turned into a bloodstain because like when it swings around, its hitbox like almost doubles. Like it clearly did not hit me.
It gets it's like the force of it turning around hits.
Yeah.
You. It's so stupid.
Yeah, those spirits you see, they're terrifying sometimes. I'll just be in a room and someone just like walks up to me, which scares me enough. Like, what the fuck? And then you see something like their body just starts getting thrown around violently. Yeah. I said, I don't know if I want to be here.
The big axe brutes, like who are kind of intimidating at the start, who actually got a bit of a charge on them, and they can kind of pick you up and slam you into the ground.
Oh, I love it.
Those guys rule. But I have seen so many ghosts do it, and I'm like, they're all sorcerers too, and they're dying, and I'm like, I'm like, you fucking idiot.
So if you want to go to the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave, there's a really great bow. Those chariots you actually can destroy. You have to
hit them in the... Really?
There is at least at one spot in here, I haven't done it, where you can shoot something down. If it lands, your timing's good, it'll land on it and destroy it.
That's so fucked. That is Miyazaki, you motherfucker.
These are the only enemies that really piss me off, though.
There are... Okay, we talked about the Misbegottens.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier.
Okay,
you and I were talking.
Yeah, we were playing it a little bit, and I started a character. I just was like,
because of course the Misbegotten are cursed because they touched the crucible.
You know that silly thing,
that old chestnut.
But it's I'm literally like there are a lot of enemies in this that piss me off. It's the imps. The imps make me angry.
With the smoke?
With the blood loss.
No. The imps are the stone guys. Who are in every single fucking dungeon. And
throw those little daggers and shit at you.
And then they kind of swing at you and cause blood loss. Fuck that shit.
You'll be minding your own fucking business. And it just jumps off of the ceiling and it's like, I'm going to kill you right now. I'm going to ruin this whole man's career real quick. And I'll walk in there level 150. And they still fuck you up. They'll fuck you up.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this game will teach you very quick. If an enemy hits you, don't think I can just hit it back.
No.
Get out of the way and plan your hits, because I've got spanked today by them just going around.
Well, I think this is also what separates a lot of these games from current video gaming, and I think that's what people really like about it is this game is actually going to make you think about it.
Yeah.
You have to think about it. There's no other option. Like if you choose to just go in blindly, you're fucked in the moment. And I don't know, like I miss games that make me think things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be engaged.
You have to. If you're not engaged, you're already failing at the game.
I do like that everything that I do in the game feels deliberate.
Yes.
Like I'm not sitting there butt mashing. I am panicking a lot, but I'm not butt mashing. I feel like
just sweat dripping down. I'm picturing like flop sweat. Like,
the more I panic, the more rewarding the victory is.
That is true. Yeah. And the one thing that pisses me off is every time I fight a boss and I die multiple times, it seems like I never get closer than the first time when I just went in and spanked his ass and got him down to like 2 hits. And then now I'm thinking too much.
And then like suddenly the AI kicks in for the first time and they can suddenly do the weirdest maneuvers. That's the problem with Margit actually, is that Margit, once you get him down to a quarter health, for some reason, he can just mid-attack, switch to a different attack. I've noticed this, by the way. It's fucking true. But literally, I had someone over yesterday, and she was watching me play, and I'm just like,
Is that what you do with your dates? Like, you want to see my character?
No, that's not what happens.
Okay.
We were hanging out.
Because I know you're not maidenless.
I'm not maidenless. I've got a few maidens, but it's literally like she was just doing her own thing on her phone. I'm just like, and she's like, I don't understand why you play these games, and they're like, it like makes you upset. I'm like, because the motherfucker needs to die. He's gonna die. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna hurt him. Like, I got him down to like literally like probably 5% health, and then
that's the worst death. When you get it down to 5%, and you just kind of throw away your reasoning for a while. Like, I can get one more hit.
He had the thing where he pulls out the hammer and he does the swing around.
Yeah,
and I was just like, okay. I was just like, I gotta quit this for a bit, and then I played Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm like, you want to see? I'm like, hey, baby, you want to see Dubai? but like, I was just like, no, fuck, man. I was like, eh. But then today, I woke up and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play some Elden Ring. I'm gonna explore Limgrave a little bit, kind of the first area, refigure some of the stuff out, and I fucking wiped the floor with him. I summoned all my puppies. Mm-hmm. And they fucking murdered him.
Did you know that you can kill a boss and die at the same time?
Mm-hmm. We're going to take a quick break to hear from some of the other amazing shows from the HyperX Podcast Network, and we'll be right back to discuss Limgrave.
Previously on Chat of the Wild.
But what we have to do is there are these seeds in these little holes that we have to put specific water on to make them grow up, and we get the Mario sound effect for the vines going up.
Yes.
Like, it's what exactly is the sound effect for Mario that they use?
Can you guys just do that simultaneously again?
Chat of the Wild, breaking down Zelda and Zelda-like games, one dungeon at a time. Wednesdays on the HyperX Podcast Network.
Video Deathloop is the show where we watch a short video clip on loop until we just can't take it anymore. Along the way, we'll try our best to make each other laugh and to hold out longer than the other guy. Come in on any episode. Video Deathloop, new episodes every Friday.
New this April from HyperX, it's the HyperX Clutch Controller. Get better control of your mobile gaming with its comfortable grip, directional pad, analog sticks, and shoulder buttons. This versatile controller can fit a variety of phone widths, and can also connect wirelessly for use on tablets and PCs. Learn more and pick one up online at hyperxandhp.com, Amazon, Micro Center, Target, Best Buy, and other fine retailers.
So you emerge out into Limgrave, and you are finally in this big open world. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. Right away, you're going to run into a person, white-faced Vara.
Yeah.
And he calls you maidenless. He explains how Grace and the Guidance of Grace works and says, well, you need a great rune. You better go to the castle. And he there's a lot more to him, but the way it works with these NPCs is we're only going to kind of explain as we go along what's important. And I know my first time I saw the tree sentinel, I saw the guy on the horse, and I said,
did you try to fight him?
Well, I didn't. I went up first because I thought, I don't know, maybe he's friendly.
Is he an NPC?
I thought maybe that's how the world worked. I didn't know a lot of it yet.
Yeah.
And he sees me and he said, nope, you're done. And
Immediately.
Yeah, and he's a boss. He has like the full like boss health bar at the bottom.
Yep, that is the key distinction. But there's the difference between facing a great enemy and a regular enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the tree sentinel, not friendly.
No,
no. I came out, saw him, and was like, I can sneak. I just learned this. I'm gonna I'm gonna do that right here.
And it's also
you might like Sekiro.
Watch me sneak right past you.
But it's funny also. You could just walk way around him and not need to sneak at all. But you're like, I'm gonna go real close, but not get caught.
I can go to that church. He's not gonna see me.
And yes, most likely the first location people will wind up is the Church of Ella, where you meet the merchant Kale, who is dressed surprisingly close to Santa Claus.
Thought that was odd.
I thought it was odd until I realized
I don't think so.
he's wearing like
I didn't get that.
a red coat and a red hood. I don't know. He had Santa-ish colors, but then you see the other merchants later on. They all have different colored robes.
Brad, your Santa fetish, you got to get this out of the podcast.
Someday I will be him. I will become the Santa Lord.
As soon as you kill Tim Allen, I've told you this.
Yeah. I told you how this works, Brad.
Bradley, you got to understand. Listen, I'm rooting for you to be Santa.
It's spelled
You've
Claus.
already got the beard.
It's spelled Claus with an E. It's the Santa Claus.
You get it?
We love Tim Allen. If you're listening, Tim, thank you.
I don't care for you. You're fine.
You will get some important items from the merchant, though. He explains a few things, but
Yeah, a few.
the crafting kit, if you are going to craft items, which the only things I wound up doing a lot of is healing items.
Anti-poison and shit like that.
Anti-poison.
Ooh, I'm a
Anti-rot.
big pot guy. I'm a big
Crackpot?
crackpot guy.
You're throwing little bombs?
I'm throwing little bombs, little holy
you
bombs, little
motherfucker,
poison
really?
bombs. Yeah.
The crackpot, you can buy the crackpot there, and you can make it into a bomb, and then you throw it, and then you have the cracked pot again. So the more cracked pots you have, the more of these bombs you can make.
got
It's
so
an interesting concept.
Wait, they're replenishable?
Yeah, I got
After
so
you
many
use them, you get the
crackpots.
cracked pot, and you can use it again.
God, I keep learning. Games shouldn't be like this. This is fucked
I've
up.
only like dabbled in the perfuming stuff too, because that's a whole
Perfuming
separate-
actually is it fucking rules.
I'm just not fast enough to do it. Like the animation takes too long for me for whatever reason. And I'm a spell sword, so I felt like that was
I'm
not
a spell
cool.
sword too. Yeah.
Some other items the merchant will be able to sell you. Cookbooks. These are essentially recipes. You will want some of these if you're going to be using your bow and arrow at all.
Yeah.
You will want to be able to make arrows because otherwise you're going to be spending a lot of runes. And he also sells notes. These notes, I know Dylan didn't use for a long time. He's like, why would I spend?
figured it out.
But it's like, why would you spend money on like a little tips and tricks? But they also will straight up say, if you want to find a key, check out this area. And
Listen, I eventually find these keys. This is just it's more of an indictment to me as a human being, but you know.
yeah, some of them are really useful though, and also they'll tell you strategies for certain enemies. But I always buy the notes because they're selling them for a reason. Miyazaki wouldn't casually throw those in there.
I know, but sometimes there are things in these fucking games that I'm like, why would I buy this?
There are many locations in Limgrave. We are going to briefly talk about some of them. We're not going to mention on this podcast this cave and these ruins and these mines. That would become tedious, but we will mention some of the first ones a little bit more because they're going to introduce concepts that are important. The Groveside Cave. It's your first kind of like straightforward cave. There's enemies. It's dark. You're going to want to have a torch. You can buy a torch from the merchant, but you run into the Beastman of Fair Missoula. Like we mentioned before, what's a Fair Missoula?
I have no idea, but I killed him.
You killed the Beastman. Yeah, he is from somewhere else, and you also notice out in the environment there are just pieces of ruins everywhere. Mm-hmm. Why? Where did they come from?
Fuck if I know.
Fuck if I know. They fell from the sky. And yes, then you have the Stormfoot Catacombs nearby. This is going to be kind of a more traditional dungeon-style area. Mm-hmm. These have those little imp fuckers.
Oh, yeah. Is this... Yeah. With the fire traps, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll be introduced to traps here. There are going to be spots on the floor you can step on, and they'll shoot arrows. They'll shoot fire. There are those pillars of fire that will just shoot like down the hallway at you. You can turn those off.
I didn't know that for the longest time.
Yes.
Yeah, you just got to walk up and smack them.
You can even shoot them with a bow and arrow from a distance.
Oh, my God. Damn.
Yes, you can turn them off from a distance. If you want to play it safe, that is a very good way to do it.
I mean, that's the best way to do it. Because, like, you also get staggered in the flame. Mm-hmm. And then 9 times out of 10, one of those little fucking...
Imps are just charging.
Imps are coming right at you, so...
You can also use these traps, too, if you are dragging enemies behind you.
I've done that. Yeah.
And you know how to time it. You can have the fire kill all of them. This isn't important now, but you can turn them off, and the pillar drops. You can ride the pillar up. You will need to at some points at some dungeons. Just so you know. Yes. You can ride those pillars. And then this was the first boss I fought, the Erdtree Burial Watchdog, which is a striking design.
He's kind of like this sphinx.
Like a stone sphinx, and it's got like real rigid movements. It's really great.
Like an automaton. It's pretty fucking cool.
He's early on, and I feel like he's a great introduction because that's where I really got the hang of iframes and dodging because his attacks are so deliberate. I could time it just... He's not like... The first time I fought Margit, he's got those stupid-ass delayed attacks where it's like, and now.
Well, and Margit has like different levels of staggered attacks too, whereas Erdtree... fairly straightforward. You know he's going to do like the flying above you thing, and you know when he's coming down, you can time your dodges.
And it's usually in threes.
Yep.
And he kind of teaches you a little bit about what the game is going to expect of you. Which is excellent, actually. Like to put these types of bosses there. What's the cave to the east of it?
The Groveside cave?
Yes. And the boss there is
the Beastman of Fair Missoula.
Okay, he also teaches you a little bit too that you're going to face some unwieldy things.
Yeah,
and don't get freaked out by the flourishes because he does a lot of jumping around and stuff. And I was panicking and like just rolling, waiting for him.
Well, you're wasting your endurance.
It's like Dooku and Yoda's like, "Wow, you did 4 flips, great. Yeah, can we just fight now?" Real cool, yeah. I often reference Attack of the Clones.
Yes, you do. It's almost like I know you're in love with Christopher Lee, but he's dead now, you know.
But Bradley, the deathbed companion.
Perfect.
The Gatefront Ruins is going to be a little bit off to the east here. This is that first area. Great spot to level up. You were doing that earlier today.
Yes, I was.
Dylan? Yep. There's a very important item down there called the Whetstone Knife. It allows you to add battle arts and affinities to weapons.
Yep.
Good thing to have.
Yep.
For the most part, you're not going to use this because you usually get weapons. If you want the good weapons, you get the special ones that have their own that can't be changed.
I think that you are trivializing a very important aspect of this game where you can power up your regular weapons super powered, use some really great Ashes of War. And also, those unique weapons, which have things built in, you can't use grease on. So if you want to have an enemy weak to fire, you can't just rub that fire grease all over that sword.
I wanted to put more magic on my magic sword.
The grease just falls off. I'm trying to grease my sword.
What the fuck? I thought I didn't.
Yeah. So if you want to have more customizable weapons, you can't use the unique ones. And you can have a regular twin blade and pimp that out major. Like you can have them all be effective in different ways. Oh, man. And the Whetstone Knife is great too because I didn't use a unique weapon for the first quarter, half of the game, something like that. And you can set your affinities. So, I want it to scale better with dexterity. You can go in there and do that. So the Whetstone Knife's really cool. And also this is a good spot, like I said, to level up. You can find some good armor from these guys. But there is the Gatefront Sight of Grace. You'll use it and some lady will just come up to you. And you meet a very important character here in Melina. She says, "You're maidenless trash. Do you want a horse?" And you say,
"No." She asks if you have the horse.
No, Melina. No, she doesn't. She's the one that gives you the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, she said, Torrent chooses you.
Yes. Do you want him? I'll be your maiden.
Do you want a horse?
And it's like, I just met you. You buy me a drink first.
Yeah.
And this is crazy.
Here's my horsey. Call me Melina.
Perfect. That's a shirt.
Melina is from the Mike Tyson School of Tattoo Design.
I ruined him. I ruined her, sorry.
Maidens, though, I was wary at first. I know with these games, when you make a decision, it is sometimes a very important permanent decision. So I was worried, but yes, accept your horsey. Say that she can be your maiden because you need her to. She can turn your runes into strength, and it gives you the Spectral Steed Whistle, which will become something you want hotkeyed immediately because you will always be using your horse.
You'll always be scrolling down on that down cursor, baby.
We're not going to go up through the gate yet. We're going to go explore Limgrave. One of the first NPCs you'll run into is a tree that is saying, "Oi, oi,
oi, you going to help me?"
I hate this. I had
you couldn't find him.
I had such a bummer of a time with this monkey ass piece of shit.
And what's great for me is my roommate, who's also playing Elden Ring, has not figured it out yet, and I refuse to tell him.
It is literally like I was so stupid that and I don't have like a good sound system. It's literally just from my television, right? So I heard this shit. And what happens is I'm just like slashing every bush and everything because I know how these games work.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, fucking duh. The only red one?
Bach is going to be the first demi-human, potentially one of the first ones you meet. This is the only one that you have a conversation with.
Yeah.
I liked this a lot. I thought he was a really cool design.
He's a good boy.
He was the first person that didn't try to kill me. Like, he's a ride or die homie, and I felt bad for him.
And he
went and got his ass kicked in a cave, and
he's been bullied by the other demi-humans. Bach wants to pursue sewing, and they say, we're demi-humans, don't go sew things. But Bach said his mother was a seamstress.
Well, all the demi-humans go ook ook eek eek. That's all they do.
They have more intelligence than they're given credit.
Yeah, but they're really trying to scare you.
And well, most of them are like, we just like sports. We don't want to talk politics.
That's true.
And ooh, wow, nice shirt, Bach. They steal his needle and they kick him out.
When I saw the demi-human with a "Let's Go Brandon" T-shirt, I was a little like, isn't this kind of like against your policy?
And like this is an educational opportunity, Dylan.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Whoops.
If you can help one demi-human, maybe it'll help the others. If you go back to the church, Third Church of America, you will run into Ronnie, which I did, or not Ronnie, I should say Rena. You run into Rena.
Yeah.
I didn't do this the first time. Rena will be there. She's a blue witchy looking lady with 4 arms.
Oh, she's fun. She's great.
And yeah,
and 2 faces.
She says some cryptic things.
4 hands. I think she's got 4 hands.
Okay.
20 fingers. You do the math. She'll give you.
Hey, listen, only 10 toes though.
Ooh, yep. Docking a point there. She'll give you a summoning bell. She says it was Torrent's former masters, and Torrent has chosen you. Yes, I like what you were saying about who Torrent's former master might be. Regardless, though, Torrent has chosen you, and you are also getting a summoning bell that was Torrent's former masters given to Rena.
Well, so
there's a series of events that I don't have pieced together yet.
So what's the difference between the ring and the spirit calling bell?
What do you mean the ring?
The ring
you get a
used
ring to summon Torrent.
Well, that's the summoning bell. This is how you summon.
No, I know, but that's not how you summon Torrent.
No, he has a spectral steed whistle.
I know, but the whistle is a ring.
Yeah, you can wear it like a ring.
Are you saying all right, the summoning bell kind of looks like a cowbell. Maybe Christopher Walken.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, if you're having trouble with the boss, Christopher Walken just on the side, it's like, we need more bell.
I mean, my mimic tears on my bell, so I'm pounding that cowbell all day long.
You're sacrificing 600 hit points?
It is so worth it.
You're essentially like, do I use this Crimson Tears or Cerulean Tears after doing a summon?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A horse apiece. A torrent apiece.
It's good, but I'll tell you what. Get yourself some Rollo up in your scenario.
I was using
Rollo is good.
I think I have him. I also have the Hawk that I dabble with. And
Hawk's okay.
The demi-human crowd that's really weak, but there's 5 of them. So
yeah.
to draw enough aggro where I can just like.
Have you ever gotten the Nobleman Ashes?
You get those fairly early, actually.
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
Yeah.
But Bach sends you to the coastal cave, and he's there. He says, "Don't go in there. They're really mean. They're going to say you're stupid."
He didn't do that for me.
Oh, also, I actually had my first playthrough. I got through it before talking to him there. But you'll find some demi-humans. You can give him back his needle. Also, after you beat those demi-humans, he's got to return to the entrance. Don't do that, because you can keep walking through and get to another island.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
That's how you get to the Cathedral of Dragon Communion.
Well, in Caelid?
This is the Church of Dragon Communion. That's the Cathedral of Dragon Communion.
Oh, fuck off. Come on.
Yeah,
video game?
Well, because you see it and you're like, I want to go up there. I want to go over there.
I want to go to all the islands, and I look at them from the shore, and I'm like wistfully like.
If I remember correctly, too, when you go to the.
Just reaching out, let me go.
The Titanic theme songs play. I'm like, oh.
But when you're going to the
new place, and I can't even.
You're just throwing rainbow stones in the water.
You're here There's nothing I fear.
And then a demi-human stabs you in the back and you're dead.
like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, because when you're in there and it says return to entrance, like if you turn around and look back where you came, it's like kind of tucked to the side.
Where's this located?
Coastal Cave, southwest of where you start the game. Go through there, go through the end after the boss.
Southwest.
And you'll go out to the little island that's off of the coast.
Yeah, there's a little tunnel.
And there's a church there where you bring your dragon hearts and you'll get dragon powers.
I know that one, but that's in Caelid.
This is another one.
Oh.
Speaking of dragons, there's a giant lake in the middle of Limgrave called Agil Lake. And it's been named that because there's a dragon that roosts there named Agil.
Fun fact, this is the first time I shit my pants in this game. I was just having a good old time looking for this cave.
How's your laundry bill?
It's significantly lower now that I got Moonvale. And
Now that you got good.
I got good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy swooped down
That's
on
how
me.
these games work. I'm so happy that people are playing like more Souls games.
Everyone's playing.
Everyone's fucking playing this game.
And if not, they're being inundated by their friends that do play it.
And now they have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I tried what you told me the other day. I was at Landmark and I was chilling, having a drink, waiting on my friend. I was sitting next to a guy at the bar, and I just looked over at him and went, "Do you play Elden Ring?" And he's like, "I'm on my second playthrough." I'm like, "No shit." It's fucking awesome. Everybody's playing.
People get very excited too because everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to talk about it.
Oh my god.
You can fight a Gil. You can also summon an NPC named Yara. You can summon Yara to help there, depending on the order of events.
You have to be in the right space though. Like the summoning pools are interesting in this one, especially now that they have bosses that it used to be telegraphed that you would only go through a fog gate and then you faced a boss.
Now there are bosses in the wild.
Now they are just roaming around doing whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, I love it too.
That rules. No, that's exactly what this series needed.
The first time you see, you're just wandering through this lake and you see the dragon in the distance. He comes in and he takes out a whole bunch of wandering,
and you're absorbing all their
people.
runes.
Yep.
I'm just like, oh, perfect.
On the northwest side of the lake, you will run into your first mining tunnel. These are great. These are where smithing stones are.
Correct.
The miners are usually so busy working that they've given up on their lives and they will not even turn around to mess with you.
But also they are resistant to physical attack. If you've got magic,
they are.
These are the places for you.
Mm-hmm. And you'll also notice this is when I started to notice these people don't look happy. They look like slaves. A lot of people
they're half tree, right?
Well, a lot of enemies out there too. They're being guarded by knights and they're forced to work.
Yeah.
This is because Godric, as you'll find out, everyone who talks about him is a right royal douche. Nobody likes Godric. He is the worst ruler, and he is the one in charge of.
He's a pompous
the Limgrave area.
He's a pompous little boy who got too ambitious. That's kind of his character.
He got too big for his britches.
Well,
I'm a demigod too. Shut up, Godric.
It's like, fuck you.
Even the finger
Who
reading.
invited Godric to the party?
Even the finger reading crone shits on him at one point. Like, yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
Everyone agrees. Like, which is so funny when you face him. He's actually kind of intimidating. So it's like it kind of sets up this like expectation between you and the rest of the world. I think there's like something actually kind of nice about that because clearly he's got like compensation issues because if you need that many arms, let's be clear.
Yeah.
It was crazy when I'd be...
It's not about the number of arms, it's what you do with them. But south of the lake, you'll find a spot called the Dragon Burnt Ruins. There are 2 chests here. One has the twin blade, which is a really great weapon. Mm-hmm. The other one does not have the twin blade.
The other one transports you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that was a big headache for me for a long time. Little level 7 Tyler didn't know what to do.
Yes, we'll talk about little Rotland another time.
Now, I will say this. I will take a transport before a mimic ever again.
Yes. But that is another Souls game.
Yes. But I just had to point that out.
On the northeast side of the lake, if you go up there, you will get possibly your first invasion. This is where your Horsea goes away, Torrent's gone, and
no, you're talking in the ravine.
Where you're going up, into the ravine.
Oh, I don't like that fight at all.
Well, Bloody Finger Neregus shows up, and this is your first time invaded. You can't do anything until you die or they die. You're stuck here.
Yep.
And you also, Bloody Finger Hunter Yara,
yeah,
he just shows up. and he'll take the aggro, and he can do a lot of the fight. Also, this is a great spot for an early game weapon. You'll get the Reduvia from this fight, which is a really good dagger.
I am not doing strength based this round, so no.
But yes, you also then you learn about how there are people hunting Tarnish from him. He describes the Church of Dragon Communion when you talk to him as well. And he said, yeah, people that do that kind of really get fucked up later. They're trying to become dragons, and they get a hunger. You don't learn a lot about what happens to them yet, but
they're essentially vampires.
They become something much different, which I know you've seen, but we'll talk about that later. You also can go into the Murkwater Cave. You will run into an NPC boss called Patches.
Patches, our best friend.
I just met him, and I missed that whole thing on my first, playing through.
Oh, he's a semi-boss, but when you get him down to a quarter health, he's like, I give up. I
was very strong when I got there, and it did not take much.
Did you just murder up Patches?
No, I just hit him once, and he was like, "Yo, hey, whoa, hey. Let's just chill.
Let's figure this out."
Yeah. And this, you can kill him, but if you don't, you will have opportunities to get some really cool stuff later.
He hangs out in the Volcano Manor later,
and he will sell you Margit's Shackle, which is an item that will help you. It's kind of like the little music box for Gascoigne and Bloodborne.
Yeah, which I won't use. I just don't care.
I love using that in Bloodborne because it's just the lore behind it is great.
Well, that's cool.
And Margit's Shackle, there's a reason that Margit's Shackle is a thing. Essentially, Patches explains those buffoons out there. They're a bunch of bandits that work for me.
Yeah,
he's one of the only people that can communicate with them. But Margit's Shackle was stolen from somewhere else because there's a reason the shackle was created for Margit. But also, go back in there. There'll be a chest. If you open it, Patches just laughs at you, calls you an idiot thief, and you'll get transported to the Mistwood, and there will be a giant fucking bear there. This is the first time running into the bear.
The giant? Well, no, I met him first in Mistwood.
Yeah.
I went to Mistwood because I'm like, oh, forest. Yeah. That's fun.
But the bears are terrifying.
Oh, the big bears. The regular bears are fine.
They're okay. I don't want to fight multiple ones of them, but those big bears are...
They don't drop a lot of runes. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
I avoid them like the plague.
In the Mistwood Ruins area, you'll run into the great Kenneth Height, who...
Douchebag.
He is a infomercial salesman. He is a guy spreading the... He is a TV evangelist is what he comes off as.
He put my Yes Man playthrough to the test because I almost just killed him right away.
Really?
I did not like him, and I further don't like him.
He fucking sucks, and his quest means nothing, but...
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
When does this pay off?
He's supposed to knight you. I'm still waiting on that shit.
They added a patch where... But he explains that he is actually the next rightful ruler of Limgrave.
He claims.
Well, he says Godric has no claim to the throne.
But he's a dipshit.
Kenneth Height's not a bad dude. He's full of himself, but he's got a good quest. And he actually says he wants to reestablish connections with the demi-humans, which is controversial, but he's like, just because they wear the Fuck You Brandon shirts doesn't mean that you can't have a conversation with them. And then...
No, it's let's go, Brandon.
Whatever. But there's Fort Height, and you will take it back.
Are we really comparing conservatives to demi-humans?
Not all of them.
Most. It's fine.
But when you recapture Fort Height and you go back, because Kenneth will be there.
I've done this.
It's all demi-humans in there instead.
I murderize them, yeah.
And they attack you. I'm like, Kenneth.
Yeah, right away.
Kenneth, I'm fine with you talking to these people, but why are they just aggressively trying to kill me? But maybe they know that I'm teamed up with Bach and they hate that fucker.
Maybe.
Also in the Mistwood Ruins, there's the Sjofer River Well. You can go down. You will be lost a very long time for another whole episode.
There are enemies that take an extreme amount of damage for your level.
Oh, yeah.
That is the worst part about that. I kind of stumbled upon that early, and I was like, where am I? What's going on? And it's literally just like, oh, you're in like a mystical underground realm. I'm like, what the fuck is this video game anymore?
There's also, south of the entrance to the River Well, some ruins there. You'll hear a wolf howling. And
if you snap your finger right.
Yes. You have to go back to Merchant Calais, and he'll give you the finger snap gesture. He's like, oh, that's just Blyde. Just go over there and snap your fingers. And this is your first opportunity to meet Blyde. He has his own very long quest, which is great. But he says that he's trying to hunt Darwell. This is your first opportunity to go to an Everjail as well. Go to the Forlorn Hound Everjail in the southern part of Limgrave. He'll help you. You'll get a great weapon. The Everjails are essentially
what
pocket
weapon?
dimension prisons.
What weapon do you get for that one?
I think it's like the Forlorn Hound sword or something like that.
Ooh, I might have to do that tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good weapon, actually. And east of where you find Kenneth Height, you will find the Third Church of America. This is where you'll get the Flask of Wondrous Physic, which is
Correct.
You can use this item every time you use a Site of Grace, and depending on what you have mixed in there, it'll replenish your health. It'll increase stamina.
Damage negation.
Damage negation's a
That's
very
my
big
favorite.
one.
Oh boy.
It's my favorite.
There are times in certain phases of a boss battle where I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I have this.
Yeah.
It almost feels like cheating.
Yes, just north of the Third Church of America, there is a one of those teleporter items, little spots. You can use it, and it'll shoot you across the map
To the Beast Clergyman.
And you can go there. There's a lot of tough enemies around there, but you can go there.
If you have a decent enough, that is the best place to level in the game early on.
Yeah,
It is period bar none, especially if you have a Talon that boosts rune consumption. Oh, ooh. I am so quick at it now. It's just blam, 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 blam. And now that I'm strength based, I can just fuck them up, get 1,500 runes. One shot.
and the Beast Clergyman wants Death Root, and
He loves it.
the first place you can get Death Root, well, there's many places, but the first one you probably will get it is the Tibia Mariner in Summon Water Village on the northeastern part of Limgrave.
How do you feel about this boss, by the way?
I love it. It's
You like
weird.
it?
It's weird. Just because it's not difficult doesn't mean I don't think it's fascinating.
I don't think it's not difficult because mobs come at you,
Yeah.
right? It summons the undead to face you. But if you have let's say Rolo or anything like that, Rolo's fucking taking all that shit for you.
Or holy damage, I think, prevents them from coming back,
True.
which was super dope.
I didn't know
when I
that.
got there. Plus, that boss taught me that I can use Torrent during a boss battle, and I don't have to deal with that mob. I can just hop on Torrent and go find where that little boat guy is
Yep.
and fuck him up.
Sometimes it will help you. Sometimes it will not. This is one, though, that being on torrent definitely does help.
Yeah.
You can just ride by and slash.
Yeah, as soon as he disappeared, I'm like, all right, let's grab that whistle. Let's go. Giddy up, big boy.
I wanted to mention the High Road Cave. There's nothing super unique about it. You have a boss fight with a Guardian Golem. Not that interesting. But what is interesting is it drops the Blue Dancer Charm. Why I find this interesting.
I never faced this.
The description for the Blue Dancer Charm, it represents a fairy who in legend bestowed a flowing sword upon a blind swordsman. Blade in hand, the swordsman sealed away an ancient god, a god that was rot itself. This little description describes an area much later in the game. It describes a whole outer god. It's one of the only mentions of it. And this is the power of just one random item description. There's so much lore buried in this game. This describes what could be an entire badass story. A blind swordsman with a fairy giving them a flowing sword, which the power of water. There's a few different items that call back to what this might mean, but yeah, sealed away a god that was rot itself, because there's the god of rot, which is its own thing. And
baby.
there's a nice beautiful lake later on in the game. Around there, as well as the death-touched catacombs, where you fight a Black Knife assassin. These are one of the assassins that stole the rune of death and killed Godwyn. You'll run into most of these Black Knife assassins in different areas, but it's fascinating. All of these caves are worth exploring because there's something going on there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's not too much else in Limgrave. There's the War Master's Shack, where you can run into the NPC Bernal.
The artist shack. Or is that in...
That's Limgrave, yeah.
Limgrave, yeah.
The artist is scattering paintings around the world and says, can you find where... It's like, find where the painting was done.
Can someone tell me what the paintings do?
I don't know, because I found the spot. I found a painting, found the spot. and nothing happened. I must not be in the right spot, or it's just like, hey, cool, you did the thing.
I'm kind of angry about it. I've not looked up anything about Elden Ring.
It's a small quest. There's, I think, 6 different paintings.
But they make it seem like such a big accomplishment when you fucking find these paintings.
It's worth doing it. But when you do find the spot where the painting was done, if you're in the right spot, there will be the artist's spirit there, and you talk with the spirit.
All right, so you get a lore dump? That's it?
No, it's not a lore dump. You get items.
Ooh, all right. I got to go back to the spot. I know exactly where one of the spots is. Put a marker on it. I must not be in the right spot. It's definitely the right spot.
And
it's going to irritate me.
You'll run into an NPC named Rodrika, who does a whole bunch of really interesting explaining about what's going on in the castle. She said,
"We love her.
All my friends are going up there to offer themselves to the spider, but I don't want to get my head and arms ripped off. I'm not brave enough." And I was like, "What are you talking about? What? What?" And it's like, "I don't want to go to the castle." She's like, all my friends are going there voluntarily, giving their heads and their limbs to the spider, and that you're there's a bad place up ahead when you hear things like that.
She's like
the crazy old man.
She's the quest line that works.
She's the crazy old man in movies. Like, don't want to go down that road. See,
yeah. Don't want to go up that road. Children tend to die up there.
She gives you jellyfish ashes as well.
The jellyfish sucks, though.
It is a very cool quest at some point.
I know, because someone asks for their sister, and I was like, "Oh, I know your sister," and I summoned sister.
It's one of the only good endings to an NPC quest.
Honestly, truly. And I was like, at first I was like, do I summon the fucking thing?
That's nice to hear that it's a good ending, because I feel like I might have just massacred my boy Bach.
Yeah.
I'm real nervous to log back in today.
Just go check it out. Go check it out.
Have you checked on your friend?
There's also the sorceress, Selen.
She's great.
Yes, she's guarded by a pumpkin head, which is a great design, but she says, just so you know, I'm exiled. They don't want me there anymore. They say I'm an evil apostate witch. Do you really want to learn from me? And you can say yes, and you can learn some great spells from this wonderful lady. There's a much bigger quest to be had there. Also, you can go down to the beach southwest of Agil Lake. It takes some tricky jumping. If you get down there, you can actually get to another spot in the tutorial area with an item, which it's a little tricky to get there, but you can go up and have your first major boss fight at this point. You can also go down to the Weeping Peninsula, which we'll talk about in another episode. Yeah. There's also Caelid. You can go around the castle if you don't want, but what will be the first major roadblock for many, many gamers for their first time playing these games
is Margit the Fell Omen.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Margit the Fell Omen. Now, Margit, lore-wise, you two aren't ready to hear about Margit.
I am.
Well, I just got a little more dose of what's going on there with where I'm at in the game.
I will say Margit isn't the character's real name. And you can also completely not fight Margit. If you get to a certain point later in the game, you come back, Margit won't be there.
No shit.
Really?
Yes.
No shit.
If you have the shackle, use it. Essentially, omens are born sometimes, and they are furry horned monster babies. They're cursed. They have,
but they've got like bark. They've got like horns of bark that grow out the sides of their heads. They're literally tree people.
They're not tree people, but they are cursed from a tree. They also have fur and horns. You could say that they're animal people. You could say they're goat people. They're they're a bad sign. And omens are, when they are born, they are put underground. They are buried away. It is a great shame if you are born as an omen. And I will say, though, if you are an omen of significant birth, you will keep your horns. They don't take the horns off of important omen children, but they are still locked away. That's why they have shackles. But Margit still has horns. And Margit is kind of just telling, put your ambitions to rest. Yeah, I heard that many times.
Yep, a whole bunch.
You know what? I beat him on my second try.
And that's a big humble brag, Dylan.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I got my shit pushed in for like 2 days, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going back to Limgrave.
I was a sorcerer my first time through. I think I did fine.
But you also have the Souls background. So maybe
don't roll your eyes. You know that's important.
That
you
probably
explained how
helps.
it's important before, about how you understand boss
iframes.
attack patterns, all of it.
You were talking about the wind-up?
Yeah.
Like, I know the wind-up. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I know what you're doing.
I was so angry fighting him. I felt like Rorschach talking to Dr. Manhattan, like, just fucking do it. Like, he's got his sword up in the air. I'm like, do it, you bastard.
I'm going to do it. I'm okay then. Do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna.
And then I'm looking at him, and we both just stand there, and I'm staring at him, and he's staring at me, and then I roll, and then he hits me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it.
And it is my belief this boss is actually created to teach.
It's a gatekeeper.
It's meant to teach you many things. And luckily, I tried a few times, and I said I'm not ready for this, and I went exploring, which is I think what the game wants you to do.
That's what I did.
Yep. And it's an opportunity to level up. It's an opportunity to experience more of the world, because there are a lot of people who play video games that you have to encourage them to do the exploration. Some people just want a curated event that they immediately go through. With this, I actually think that Margit is the first time where it's just like, you cannot mainline this. You cannot just like immediately inject it into your veins. You've got to actually you've got to experience what's going on around you, which is actually brilliant game design at the end of the day.
And a lot of people are saying, oh, you summoned or you used Rogier, who you can summon in, or you can use Spirit Ashes. And a lot of people...
I never did that.
Well, a lot of people say, oh, you're cheating. It's like, no, you're supposed to. You're supposed to have these
You're
tools.
supposed to use ashes.
And these tools are there for you to use.
At the very least, you're supposed to use ashes.
Yeah, and you can summon in an NPC, Rogier. He will help you. He will take aggro away from you. And if you have gotten the shackle from Patches, use it. And then this shackles Margit to the ground for maybe 5-6 seconds, which you can get a lot of hits in.
Especially if you're a greatsword wielder.
And if you're a great sword wielder, use your R2s. On bosses, use your R2s because there is a stagger meter and you can knock a boss down.
If you break their poise, you're ready to go.
And it's going to help you.
Yes.
Me personally, I got spanked a lot.
Yep.
And he kept saying, put those foolish ambitions to rest. I'm like, okay.
You truly have the blood of a warrior.
He was talking mad shit to me. But
Yeah.
yeah. He's not there to help Godric. Margit, though, is trying to stop the Tarnish from going any further.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really enjoy the Margit fight. I think it's
Actually a really good boss fight. It takes place on almost like a pseudo bridge of land, and your barriers are literally the edge of a cliff and maybe some like obstacles within and in between. So you have to pay attention. There's a real dance you have to learn with this guy. And that dance is actually really important. Like, even when I first started playing Bloodborne, Father Gascoigne murdered me. This is the Father Gascoigne of Elden Ring. Period.
big time.
Yeah. It's the Taurus demon of Dark Souls. It's something, it's like a barrier you have to break through. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. But most people will try.
Yes. Do you guys have anything else on Limgrave that you want to mention? I think it's a beautiful opening to the game. I think it's looks great. I love I thought it was perfect.
I think there's actually like a brilliance to the opening segment of it. When you, much like Breath of the Wild, when you open that door and you walk out for the first time, the scenery around you is actually kind of like devastatingly beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that Limgrave was made to be the focal point of everything that stems out from it. So, like you open it up and you see Stormvale Castle. You see everywhere you're supposed to go, technically, within the first maybe 15 minutes if you're quick.
Yeah.
So that's good game design. That's good level design, period. If I had to say anything, I think the moment you exit that door, I felt a wave of just like, oh, fuck, I'm going to spend like a lot of time here, huh?
It was daunting when I went out of that door first because you have to go somewhere. And do you go left
What do you
or
choose?
right? Do you go straight?
Limgrave, I'm just super thankful for Limgrave because I tried to move on. Like, I didn't really understand how to play the game. I don't think anybody really understood how to play the game when you first get in. Massive open world. And I'm told I'm supposed to follow these little yellow markers from grace sites. So immediately I get to Margit way too fast. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm going back home. I'm going to do the whole Rocky IV montage, but not in the snow. I'm going to go kill some shit.
The montage is just you getting killed by rats.
Yeah, essentially, and those little imps. But no, I agree. It's an incredible game design. Like you said, when you come out those doors right away and you can see everywhere you're supposed to go pretty much right away. They even have the site of grace like right there and a person. So you're like, okay, I can rest real quick. And that guy's probably going to try and kill me. Thankfully, he doesn't.
And the Tree Sentinel introduces you to a boss you probably won't beat and a boss you can skip. It kind of encourages you like, all right, well, don't.
Sometimes you run away.
And now that I'm like 80 hours in, it's cool going back to Limgrave. And the fact that they accounted for you moving on and missing stuff and still like carrying it through the story and being able, like, I just went back and met Patches the last time I played.
Yeah.
Because we have a coworker who's like, every day, have you met Patches? Have you met
Justin?
Patches? Yeah. And I was like, no, who the fuck is Patches? Patches O'Houlihan. I don't know.
So we are the next Elden Dogs will be available to Patreon members in 2 weeks. Otherwise, it'll be a month out for non-Patreon members. If you want access to episodes early, if you want to join our Discord, it's super inexpensive. $3 to get you access to these things. $5 for some more stuff, including a movie podcast. But if you're curious, go to patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast.
I mean, truly, none of like, also we have a Discord. Like, if you're interested in having like a community of people who are like really chill, talking about video games, whatever. But I'll tell you what, like, everyone there rules.
I guess we'll also, at the end of these episodes, we're going to just share some of what the community is happening in Elden Ring.
Sure, let's hear it.
So, this is one that I shared. It says, Behold Pickle. Elden Ring player discovers you can use special shoes that will give you a bigger package. When you equip these shoes, your dick is bigger.
What?
There's a video.
Yay.
Yep.
Great. My hitbox just got bigger.
Yeah. If your wang size is affecting your hitbox, good on you. Also, Ryan shared a great video from Tilt Shift called Tiny Elden Ring. And it kind of takes the camera away from behind the character, and it looks, they did like a Tilt Shift focus perspective. And it's great. So check those out. But yes, if you want to join our community, it's worth it. It's inexpensive, and we'd love to have you on our Discord to talk with us. Also, yeah, you get access to Elden Dogs earlier, all of our episodes earlier. And yeah, check it out. If you have any questions lore-wise, if you have any disagreements with what I've said, I really want to know because I'm trying to understand this shit.
I don't want to hear it. You can talk to Brad.
Dylan won't pay attention regardless if you tell him otherwise. But we're on Twitter @HotDogcast, or you can email us, hairthedogcast@gmail.com, and we're on Instagram as well. And yeah, so next time Elden Dogs convenes, we will be discussing the Weeping Peninsula and Stormvale Castle.
Yes.
Ooh, boy.
Ooh, boy. Thanks for joining us. This is
Absolutely.
great. I love these discussions.
Elden Dogs are some of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And if you want to join us for Duck Dynasty Dogs, that'll never happen. But I do have the game.
Well, if you want to be the newest member of the Duck Dynasty family.
No, it'd be a Dog Dynasty is what we'd call that.
Oh, boy.
That sounds prestigious.
There is such thing as a dog whistle.
I shall remember thee, tarnished, smouldering with thy meager flame. Cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.